Hey mom bosses, welcome back to the conversation. Come on in the circle. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. Make sure that you like and follow and subscribe and all those things. So today I want to talk to you about our most precious commodity, and that is our time. Have you ever felt like you've needed extra hours in your day? Trust me, I get it. If you're like me, you're creative, you're passionate about all kinds of things, and it can often seem like really challenging to keep up with everything. So here's something that a lot of people overlook. It's really not about having more time. It's about using the time that you have most efficiently and most effectively. So today we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to share a few life hacks with you all that have worked for me. All right, my first life hack is this. Make sure that you produce before you consume. Okay, so what does that mean exactly? Focus on your own creative and productive tasks before you start taking in a bunch of outside information. So let's be real. Do you check your phone the moment you wake up? Do you dive into email and text and social media the first thing that you do in the morning? If you're like millions of other people, the answer is absolutely yes, right? Studies show that people check their smartphones as soon as they wake up. But if you're a business owner or a creative or a professional that's in the habit of making things, that's one of the worst things that you can do for yourself. Just taking in a bunch of information before you start creating your own original product is distracting. It can start to degrade your brain power and stresses out your body, even affects your income, your focus, and of course, it takes away and steals your time. Chances are if you start your day by consuming, you're probably not creating as much as you really should, which limits your potential for wealth building, your health, your overall happiness, quality time with your family. So how do I know this? Because that used to be me. And when I made one small change and stopped checking my phone first thing in the morning and also last thing at night, it really shifted me to be a productive, happier, and more successful person. And I'm not exaggerating. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to produce before you consume, okay? Write it down, put it on a sticky note someplace. It might feel hard at first, but it's actually really simple. Just don't pick up your device and take in other information until you've done what is most important for you during the day. If you're an entrepreneur that's working on a book, a course, a project, spend your early hours before you check your phone making the thing that you know that you need to create. Maybe you also need to take some, meditation, some journaling. Make sure you have some mental clarity, but don't get absorbed into the stress of emails and texts and reminders, okay? Take care of yourself. Do some mindfulness exercises, practice some yoga, whatever it is. Just don't check the phone first. The beauty of this concept is that it actually can apply to a lot of areas in your life, all right? So just make this promise to yourself. Create something meaningful with your mind, with your body, with your business before you consume anything else. Okay, so why does this matter? It matters because how you start your day actually shapes the entire flow of what happens during the course of the day, emotionally, mentally, creatively, right? Your morning habits tend to set the tone for everything else. You know what I mean. When you get started on the right foot, everything about the day seems to go a lot better. When you get started on the wrong foot, it's kind of a bumpy, right? So we create our habits and then our habits create us. So think about what would happen if you took 20 to 30 minutes of every day taking in junk. It's probably going to mess with how your optimal creativity operates that day, right? Now, imagine you took that same 20 to 30 minutes and you were spent it like intentionally thinking and meditating and getting your mindset ready for all of the wonder that you're going to make happen that day. It's probably going to happen. Now on to tip number 2. Make your priorities non-negotiable. Instead of organizing your to-do list to fit in all of these things into your day, and trust me, I love to-do lists, block out the time for the things that matter the most. Now, this concept comes from Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. What you're going to do, instead of writing down 30 things that you know you're not going to do, is make a list, fit your important things into your day, schedule your top priorities first, And then when something matters to you, whether it's working out or spending time with loved ones or working on that big project, you're gonna make sure that it's on your calendar. Because if it's not on your calendar, it's actually probably not a non-negotiable priority, okay? I calendar everything, and not in like an overscheduled, overcomplicated, rigid way, but my calendar does reflect my priorities. All of them, from my businesses to my content creation to my quality time with family, even my mommy-daughter date nights. I plan ahead, I look at my schedule, I book those times in advance. And the same thing goes with my husband. Every year we plan our vacations. We make sure we have date nights. We do fun adventures together because that's what's important to us. And this concept of scheduling priorities is so simple, but it is life-changing. Okay, tip number 3, map out tomorrow today. Okay, this is about setting yourself up for success by organizing your key tasks before the day actually begins, okay? You would not go on that girlfriend's road trip without a map, right? So don't start your day without a plan. There are a lot of studies out there that shows that when you plan in advance, it boosts your productivity and it also reduces what's called decision fatigue. We know that making choices can be tiring to our minds. So take a few minutes every day to create a success plan for the next day, okay? I do this in the afternoon because by the evening, my daughter is home and she needs attention, like quality, undivided attention, and I can't give that to her if I'm all in my head about the things that I need to do. So I put it on my calendar to make sure that I am looking at appointments and tasks for the upcoming day, and I make simple, quick decisions that help set me up for success tomorrow. So people always ask what kind of planner I use. Am I like an app person or what? No, I have my notes on my iPhone and I have a simple notebook from Target, okay? You can do a lot of fancy stuff, but I have found that keeping it simple actually makes it repeatable and increases my likelihood of actually doing it every single day. Now, tip number 4 is actually a very liberating tip, all right? And it's simply, let go of doing it all, okay? Focus on the few things that truly count and stop spreading yourself too thin. I'm preaching to myself here, but you can do it too. There's only one of you, okay, sis? And you've got to last the long haul, all right? You've got to be here for yourself and you have to be here for your family. So one of the most common questions I get is, how do I manage to do so much? And I do a lot. And the answer is, I actually don't do as much as I could. I've learned that trying to do everything just leads to burnout, okay? My husband loves the teachings of Warren Buffett, and one of his sayings is the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. So once I started saying no to the things that didn't matter, my life changed. I became more productive, more happier, better at focusing on what truly mattered, and I could actually create the impact that I longed to create and see the success that I longed to see. So I know it can be hard to say no, but it really is crucial to protecting your peace, sis, hear me. Anytime you say yes to something, you're actually saying no to something else. So learning to say no is one of the best skills that you can ever develop. And I've created a simple guide with 25 simple scripts to help you set healthy boundaries and politely decline, but firmly say no. And you can grab it for free at mombosscircle.com/free tools. Okay, here's tip number 5 to close us out. So let's talk about self-sabotage. It's so real, probably more real than people sabotaging you. So we all have little habits, right, that get in the way of our success. And to overcome this, we have to identify those habits that hold us back and consciously swap them out for some better ones. So here's an example. I used to make commitments and I would put them on my calendar, the same calendar I told you about that was my priorities or non-negotiable calendar, right? The problem was that some of the commitments that I put on my calendar actually required my husband to do something or to cover something that we hadn't actually talked about first. It was firm for me and it was a complete non-priority for him. I used to get annoyed when he, quote unquote, didn't support me or didn't show up the way I needed him to. It took me forever to realize that the problem wasn't actually him, it was me for signing him up for things without having a conversation first. So I stopped making assumptions about what he would or could or should do, and actually started aligning with him before making commitments that impacted him, and I was able to solve the issue of my own self-sabotage. Now, many people also struggle with constant interruptions from calls and texts and notifications. The moment that we dial in to concentrate, it's like boom, something pops up and takes us out of our zone. There's a simple fix for that too. It's called turning off unnecessary alerts. Make sure you schedule work blocks and take control of your environment, okay? Take a compassionate but honest look at your behaviors and replace any of those self-sabotaging habits with some more productive ones. So there you have it, my 5 favorite life hack strategies as it relates to my time and my priorities. And I hope that it will help you to make more of your time and manage your priorities more effectively as well. Well, that's it for today, ladies. Keep living from your purpose and keep pursuing your dreams, because the world needs what only you have to offer as a mom boss. See you on the flip side.